Time for some weekly whiskey on Implicit Bias Radio. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. We have a great crew for you here in the TSPL this week. That's the top secret podcast layer for the uninitiated. If you're new to the market, if you're new to the show, please remember you can find us on all of our socials. You can find us on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. We're there wherever you want to find us. Please go find us. Please like, subscribe, follow. It really helps the show, helps us bring you more of your implicit bias. So let me introduce you to the crew who is here with us this week in the top secret podcast layer. In the chair, much like mine, wearing a hat so that the lighting actually doesn't hit him correctly, is Mike Trammell. And, you know, I was going to say the Wheel because that was your old nickname, and that's actually not your nickname anymore.
Wow, wheel and deal a lot of stuff though, Kevon. Maybe wheel is still.
This is true, but I mean now you've got the whole box drop thing, right? And I'm actually surprised that you didn't turn your mic flag to show that, because it's what you do if you wheel and deal, because it's actually not front to the camera right now. We'll fix that in a little bit.
Well, Tug came and did that earlier, so I didn't want to overstep my boundaries. It's been a while since I've been on the show. You know, I seen him turning. I was like, you know what? I see him eyeing me over there, so I don't want. He's a big guy.
He is, and you don't want to be on his bad side because he'll actually make you look worse than you actually do, and he does that to me all the time. So then again, I can blame it on that, right? Or at least I can hope to.
I guess you can blame it on something.
Yeah, got to. All right, let's go to the bar. At the bar, we have Eli Tate of Gambino's Bakery, who is alive and well after Mardi Gras. Eli, it is fantastic to see you here in the TSPL.
Oh, it's great to be back, Kevon. It's been a few days since I've been here, but we survived Mardi Gras, and we just keep rocking and rolling.
Okay, so I have to ask, because people probably wonder what enduring a Mardi Gras season is like for a bakery like Gambino's that is known for king cakes across southern Louisiana. And I know maybe you weren't heading to New Orleans, but I know you were splitting time between Lafayette and Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a marathon, especially a long king cake season like this year, which we love to hate, obviously. But yeah, no, it's a lot of time. Been a lot of time on the road between here and Baton Rouge, making sure both stores were operating well, and yeah, it's 14, 16-hour days. But we take Sundays off. So
well, I'm glad at least you got one day off. But I know that the demand for king cakes is through the roof everywhere, and especially Gambino's king cake. That demand is high. So I was glad to see that you had a great season.
Yeah, no, it was a very good season. I love Mardi Gras. Love how the Mardi Gras traditions are just being spread throughout the country. Each year more and more people get excited, and tourism is up, and so it's a great fun time.
And Louisiana definitely transfers out, but you can't necessarily transfer anything else into Louisiana. That's a really interesting conversation. Yeah. We'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and introduce other people here who survived Mardi Gras. We'll start with the implicit bias pledge. Walker Griffon. Walker, I am glad to hear that you are still with us, because it sounds like you might have had maybe the most interesting Mardi Gras of anybody.
It was a fun Mardi Gras. I had a blast. Glad to be here. There's also
a little too much fun, Walker.
You can never have too much fun.
I don't know. Sometimes the headache the next day will tell you differently, right?
It's okay.
It's okay. You got hair of the dog there at the desk, don't you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Good to roll. Ready to roll.
That works. Appreciate it, Walker. Last person at the bar might be getting a new nickname, because we typically call him Triple H, Hold Harmless Harmon, and he hates it, which is one of the reasons why maybe we keep that one. But he might now need to be Brian the Virus Harmon, because we'll explain in a few minutes. And no, he does not have something that requires a shot. Yeah. We're going to say that he did something really good on the show previously. We'll talk about it. Brian, how are you? You survived Mardi Gras as well, I see.
I did. Another successful Mardi Gras. We had a good time. Thank y'all for having me back. The spacing out on appearing on the shows is pretty good. Right around the time I forget how red drinking whiskey makes my face. Y'all invite me back, but always a good time, and happy to be here.
No, we are happy to have you. So for those who may not understand why he might get a new nickname, if you follow us on Instagram, Brian is, I don't want to give him full credit, but he's pretty much responsible for a post on Instagram that, as of recording of this show, has like 316,000 views, which I know that's not a lot for some people. For us, that's massive. For us, that is huge. And Brian really just happened to hit a really sensitive topic right before it happened. And I love the fact that we got a lot of comments on it, a lot of people saying, show me the proof. And the fun part is we recorded this before Doge started exposing all of the corruption with USAID. And these people are making this comment after Doge exposed the corruption with USAID. But that's what you were talking about.
That's right. If I remember, that was I was responding to a question you asked. I think about what we wanted to see moving forward. It was Inauguration Day when we had that talk, and I just wanted. It was just something we had heard about, and it was a chance for. The money is being wasted so much, and it's evidence in our $36 trillion debt that we're in, and everything that's going on with the Trump administration right now. He was the wrecking ball we wanted in Washington, D.C., and I think we're just beginning to see the lineup. We've got an exciting couple of years ahead of us, I think.
And here's maybe the best way to think about that: $36 trillion in debt. If 5% of that was fraudulent, that is still $1.8 trillion over the course of debt that we have racked up that was basically fraudulent or given to fraudulent people. So a really interesting conversation. We're going to get to the problems of the world in a minute. Right now, I want to get to this Buzzard's Roost, our weekly whiskey, as we start to get tastings from around the room. So this Buzzard's Roost comes in at 105 proof. It is a double-barreled Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So it's toasted in American oak, and it has won multiple medals. Question is, does it win medals here in the Mr. Lester's top secret podcast lair? Walker, I actually want to start with you on this one. Again, I think I've kind of dialed into what flavor profile you like, so I think I know where you're going to go with this one, and I'm curious to hear what you think.
I like this one. I do. I get that caramel. I kind of get a little vanilla. I don't know if anyone else gets that, but I get that. I really do enjoy this one. I don't think it drinks too strong whatsoever either.
I definitely agree with you that this, to me, does not drink like a full 105 proof whiskey. It definitely goes down smooth. I get that full, robust flavor profile on this one that I really like. It kind of hits me right in the feels as far as my bourbon palate goes or my whiskey palate goes. So it's got a lot of the things I like. Let's go to the bar. Whoever wants to chime in first. Harmon, it's pointed at you first. So what are you thinking?
I'm liking this one a lot. I really do smell the vanilla on this one. I don't have a sensitive nose, but it's got a good. It's very easy on the nose. Drinkability is way up there. And so far, so good. I like it a lot.
I agree with you on the nose. The nose on this, to me, is one of these that I could sit and nose hump all night and not even drink it.
Agreed. Yeah.
I could just sit there with it in a glass and
nose hump. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, that's it's an official, is a scientific term.
Kind of scary.
On the show, a scientific term, but really, the nose on it is just so enjoyable that I don't even necessarily have to taste it. But to me, the good news is the taste on the palate is even better than what I get on the nose. So let's go to Mike, and then we'll go back to the bar. Mr. Trammell, what are you thinking here?
So I'm thinking I wasn't supposed to be on this show tonight because this is actually a good one.
Okay, so it's been a while. You've got to tell people why you didn't think you were supposed to be on the show.
Well, I mean, used to when I would come on the show, Kevon, I mean, we had MD 2020. I think we had
we
one
never
time.
had that.
I think we even had a Schlitz one time. And you can't even find Schlitz anymore. But, man, this is really good.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for you to say it. Because we haven't had anybody say
That's
it
what I'm saying.
on the show in a long time. What's the term that you always used?
It's good. I mean,
No, the term that you use for bad whiskeys on the show. You used to
Donkey
say
whiskey?
that, yeah, donkey. It's been a long time since we've had a donkey whiskey reference on the show.
This is definitely not a donkey whiskey. Man, it has really good color to it, good caramel look to it. Definitely a caramel when you first, like when you're nose humping over there. It kind of scares me. Elizabeth, kind of worried about what's going on at home. But anyway, really good nose humping, I guess you can say again. It has good caramel like at the beginning. On the palate, I'm getting like a really good spice in vanilla, like Walker was saying. And on the backside, I'm kind of getting like a butterscotch. I don't know if any of y'all are getting that.
I agree with you 100%. It's a caramel bomb on the front. You get full flavor on the front of the tongue. Then as it gets to the back, I start to get some of that caramel, that butterscotch. Right? So it's almost like caramel gives way to butterscotch.
It's got a good blend, though. It's smooth. It has a little spice on the palate, but man, I really like this one. This one's very impressive, Kevon. Like I said, there must have been somebody else that was scheduled for the show tonight, and I got the late call for this one because this is definitely not a regular whiskey for me.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's go to the bar. Eli, what are you thinking?
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything that Mike was saying as well. This one's, to me, it's a little bit interesting. It starts off fantastic. I mean, the nose, the smell of it is just is beautiful. And then when it first hits your mouth, you have that caramel. And then I get the butterscotch. The only thing that I'm down playing this whiskey because it is a very good whiskey. I just find on the back end, initially I wouldn't say that it was a 105. On the back end, I get that burn going down. It kind of hits on the back end, and then I get a little bit of a bitter taste on the back end.
Interesting.
In the finish, but it starts off phenomenal. It's just a touch on the back end that just kind of throws it a little bit for me.
This Buzzard's Roost Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, toasted in American oak at 105 proof for me, hits every flavor that I think you would expect in a great bourbon whiskey. It gives you the vanilla on the nose. It gives you that caramel on the front of the palate, the butterscotch on the back. I do get a little of that oak and that smokiness towards the back that almost gives you a little bit of that sour, just a bit. It is viscous and oily. It is just aggressive enough at 105, but not over aggressive. It is balanced. It is dignified. I could see this sitting by a campfire or a fire on the back patio with a bottle of this in the beautiful weather that we're having right now in southern Louisiana, 50-ish degrees at night at the hunting camp. This fits everything I would want. I absolutely love this. I'd heard great things about Buzzard's Roost, and we'd never done it on the show. So when we were given the opportunity to have this bottle, I thought, let's find out. Can it live up to everything everyone has told us? And to me, the answer is yes.
I've never actually even heard of Buzzard Roost. Have y'all heard of Buzzard Roost?
No, I've never heard of it before.
I had heard, but I didn't know anything about it.
This is a blend of 4- and 5-year-old whiskeys. And if you had told me that after I tasted it, because I actually read it before we did the tasting here on the show, I would have told you were a liar. I would have said this is 8, this is 10 years old. It feels and tastes much more mature than 4 to 5 year blend.
I agree with you on that. It tastes a lot more mature than a 4 to 5 year old whiskey. For sure.
And this is one that to me can be a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Because it goes down very easy. It's got great flavor. It is, as Brian, I think, said, it's got great drinkability.
Yeah. You've got a good blend of spice right when you taste it. The nose is deceptive because it's very soft and very sweet. I wasn't expecting that, but just like y'all been describing, it goes down very well. I've had a good bit of it already. It's not heavy in the stomach, and I enjoyed the back end. It's very subtle, but I think that's what you were saying. It was not all that pleasant, but I find it to be very subtle. But still keep its sweet nature. I like it.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing. It's not oversweet either. You get the caramel, you get the butterscotch, but it's not oversweet, as a lot of bourbons can be. When you start getting into that high corn mash bill, it can become a problem.
I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Can we try Buzzard's Roots with Gambino's King Cake?
So, okay, no, we can't try it with Gambino's King Cake. Why? Because this show is recorded.
And King Cake season is over.
Correct. Oh. That is why. King Cake season is over. You are to have King Cakes between 12th night and Mardi Gras Day. Today is the Thursday after Ash Wednesday for those who want to know when we are recording this show. That's when we're recording, which means Mardi Gras is over, which means no king cake for you. But there are treats from Gambino's on the bar, which you are more than welcome to dive headfirst into, Mr. Trammell, because I know that's what you were probably asking.
Yes, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
I figured maybe we could get away with the recording. And,
Nope.
I-
Nope. Ask a question, get a lecture here on
okay.
Implicit Bias Radio. So let's do this. Let's play number one. What would you pay for the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain presented by Box Drop of Lafayette? We'll get a figure from everybody here in the TSPL. And we need to rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code. Red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. Yellow, I would only drink it if it was free. Green, I would buy this. Blue, I would seek this out. Walker, let's start with you. First of all, what would you pay for this?
70.
$70. Where do you rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code?
Blue.
A blue. So $70 and a blue. To the bar. Eli, the microphone's pointed at you, so let's start there.
Yeah, that's a good deal. $70 and a blue. You can get a blue for $70. I'm all in.
I agree.
I'm gonna rate this as a green.
Okay.
Just because that back end was just a little bit off. But I would say this is gonna be $85.
$85. All right, Mr. Harmon.
I'm going to give it a blue. It's a 5 year.
It is a 4 to 5. It's a blend
4 to 5 year blend.
It's a blend of 4 and 5 year old Kentucky straight bourbon
105
whiskeys.
proof.
Yep.
Yep. It's limited bottle. So the question is, what would I pay, or what do I think it is?
No, the question is, what would you pay?
What would I pay? Okay.
For the liquid that's
I
in the bottle?
Yeah, I think it's. I'm going to split these guys and go $80. I would have, if I were to spend more on it, I'd be satisfied. I really enjoyed this.
So wait, then you'd pay more than 80 for it.
Yeah, but I'm playing the game.
Oh, you're playing
I
the
want to win
game.
this heavy chunk of metal y'all put in front of me.
All right, Trammell.
So it's missing a little bit. There's something I kind of, now that I've drank a few more, kind of agreeing with Eli on the back end. It is a little, I don't know. It is a little harsh on the back end, I guess you could say, now that I've had a couple more sips. But
Okay.
it's still very good. Very good. It's a box drop green, can I say?
Okay. Oh, that's all you were.
I'm putting
that's
that-
all you wanted to do.
No,
that's the only
it's-
reason
it's-
why.
it's not a blue. A blue is a special category, and I think over the years the blues kind of you guys have got soft and melted down what a blue actually is.
I disagree. I think we've just found some really good bourbon whiskey,
they're
some ryes that just happen to fall into that category.
Their
I mean,
MD 2020 days are over. It's good stuff here on out.
The strawberry was really good.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying.
yeah, that was the week we had Strawberry Hill just for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you pay?
I'm gonna go 75 on this one.
So we have a 70, a 75, an
Which is
80,
still a
and an
steal.
85.
That's right.
It's a steal at that. We're close. We're all close.
And what
good.
we have right now is what? 2 greens and 2 blues. This is a blue. This is a blue all the way. This is one of those hidden blues that you want to go find. If you can find this, grab it.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially at the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain price. This came from New News in Youngsville of $65.49.
Wow.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
Walker wins the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. We'll start solving the problems of the world, and we're going to start with a whiskey issue when we come back right after this.